Chocolate. It's delicious. It's the perfect treat. It melts at body temperature, it's creamily full of delicious fats and sugars, and it releases serotonin and endorphins that lift our mood. Did you get to enjoy any over Christmas? I'm sure you did. What are your favourites? Roses, heroes, celebrations, or the classic quality street? Maybe your tastes are a little bit more refined and you enjoy a few handmade delights. Over the years, I've come to know more about chocolate than I ever anticipated, as one of my best friends is a chocolatier in the Northeast. What a great friend to have, I hear you cry. And yes, you're right. Especially when you get to work in the chocolate factory for a day. I felt like Charlie Bucket, apprentice to Willy Wonka, the stuff of childhood dreams. Did you know that there's two ways of making chocolates? First of all, there is the filled mould method. This is the process of coating the inside of individual moulds with chocolate, allowing that to set as a shell and then adding the filling. This is your classic quality street method and allows you to create lovely patterns in the set chocolate. The filling inside these chocolates tends to be soft and gets squeezed or piped to fill the shell before being sealed inside with a chocolate base. Once completed, the chocolate is then gently tapped out of the mould. Every chocolate looks identical, and until you crack it open, there's no real way of knowing what's sealed inside. The second process is called enrobing, and this is the machine behind me in action in the factory in Newcastle that Kate and I saw when we went to work with Jane and Michael for the day. The fillings are cut from a much firmer sort of fudgy block, and then they're passed under a curtain of flowing chocolate, or they're dipped individually to give them their coating. That makes every one slightly unique and very slightly different. My personal favourites are the chocolate gingers. Jane takes chunks of stem ginger and coats them in delicious dark chocolate. I tend to get some for Christmas, they're my absolute favourite. And whilst they're really irregular shapes, there's no doubt what's inside. The filling fully dictates the outer appearance of the final chocolate, even when it's had a double layer added. It's a bit like Ferrero Rocher. You can always see the nuts poking through the outer layer of chocolate. Romans 12:2 says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." J.B. Phillips puts it even more clearly. He says, "Don't let the world around you squeeze you into its own mould, but let God remould your minds from within, so that you may prove in practice that the plan of God for you is good, meets all his demands, and moves towards the goal of true maturity." The call here is to be distinctive as Christians, not to follow the patterns of the world, but to let our transformed hearts shine through. Paul goes on in the chapter to outline what that distinctiveness should look like in our mirroring of Christ's love for us. We should be encouraging, giving, loving, joyful, patient, and always honouring each other with a servant heart. We need to be more like the gingers, shaping the world around us, and less like the caramels squeezed into the mould of conforming to the world's ways of working. So grab yourself one of the leftover Christmas treats if they've not all been gobbled, and as you unwrap it or you open the box, pause to work out whether it's filled or enrobed. And as it melts in your mouth, pray that your transformed heart would always be obvious to others, and that the pressures and attractions of the world would never come to hide or even disguise the work Jesus is doing in you as a new creation. Amen.